I don't know if I have any music that's copyright free on my Spotify right now. Hold on. I think I do. Damn it, why is everything copyrighted these days? We'll just go to music. Just got YouTube notification. Okay, I see you. What's up, comrade? Pasta. Quake. Oh my god, there's a lot of people on YouTube. There's a lot of people. Hi, how you doing? So yeah, I'm alive. Welcome guys. Quack. Hazardous. Going dark. Hello, hello. Epic Stream's back. Listen, I'm doing my best. Okay. Long story short, I've been streaming in about 2 months. Well, a little over a month. About a week out of my surgery for my knee replacement, I was feeling good. Knee's doing good. And I woke up from PT, or because I was still in the rehab facility, and they were going to give me my morning painkillers for my knee. And I was like, I don't need it for my knee. My arms are killing me, though. I can barely move. They're like, oh, that's weird. That'll probably go away once you're on your immune suppressants again. I've been on my immune suppressants now for almost 3 months, and it's not working anymore. I can barely move my arms. My range of motion is non-existent. Luckily, the infusion helped my hands because I was having trouble making a fist and opening my hand. But my primary medication isn't working anymore, so I'm unable to do much of anything right now, including streaming, which was like my only sense of, I don't know, gave me anything to do. I can't play video games for more than like an hour at a time. And if I do more than that, I'm usually going to cause the flare up to get worse to where I can't like even touch the top of my head. So I did get approved for a medication change, but I have to wait another 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks before I can get it and see if it helps. Because right now I'm pretty much non-functional. Knee's doing great though. It's subluxing. They did an x-ray. It's actually tilting. They're not sure why. So I have to wait another couple months to see if it'll kind of resolve itself through physical therapy or if I'll need a revision surgery for the knee as well. So, my worry is the elbows are going to get to the point where I need to get those replaced as well. That's like worst case scenario. But it's becoming a trend where my body seems to be attacking different joints whenever one gets fixed. So there's a real possibility that I'll just kind of have to stick with not fixing the elbows so it doesn't attack something like my spine or lungs. Because unfortunately, rheumatoid can eventually attack other more important things like your spine, lungs, or even your eyes. So that's why I haven't been around. It's super depressing. But yeah. It can actually attack my vocal cords as well, which that was a new one for me to figure out. Luckily, I haven't dealt with that personally, but it's just it's a systematic immune disease, so it's for life, you know? And it's just every couple of years I'm gonna have to change my medications most likely. Yeah, for real. I'm getting really into the cyberpunk genre for some reason. I wonder if it's because I really want to be cyber psycho levels of augmented. Because the pain's pretty bad. I'm doing my best not to take the painkillers because those have their own kind of side effects. And eventually they stop working. Eventually you'll be in more pain than you were when before you even took them. So I try to save that for days where I'm like in excruciating pain. So, yeah, I don't know what to do for streaming or content. Oh, I can barely rotate my wrists so I can use a mouse and keyboard consistently. So I'm just like trying to do the stretches and all the PT and see if I can just kind of get through the next month. This is a lot more depressing than I intended it to be. But yeah, that's just, my health is, in many ways, my health is improving. In other ways, it's not. In other ways, it's kind of just the problems are changing, I guess, for lack of a better analogy. I'm so mad about it, dude. Fucking Monster Hunter Wilds came out. I was so excited to play that game. I cannot justify spending $70 to only play an hour at a time. So that's a super bummer. I haven't tried using controller in a while. So maybe I should switch from using mouse and keyboard to controller to see if it's less straining on my arms. But unfortunately, when you're in a flare-up like this, any sort of excess of anything is going to make you flare up even though you've never had problems with that joint, if that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Wolfgang. I appreciate that. And thank you for all the well wishes, guys. I really do appreciate it. It just sucks. I was really hoping the surgery was going to be like the turnaround point for life. But I don't know. I'm watching a lot of TV and movies. That's pretty much all I can do. I finished Malcolm in the Middle all the way through recently. I saw Last Breath. That's in theaters. I have like a subscription to my local theater now because, again, I can barely do anything besides watch movies, so might as well watch them when they're out. But I also saw, what did I see recently? I was supposed to watch a movie every day this year, but I can't. I literally can't even sit up some days. I'm watching them when I can. Yeah, I still talk to Matt Omar. I haven't spoken to Matt in a while. I'm assuming he's just busy with life. But Omar and Mike and Ben, I still talk to him. I saw Mickey 17. That was really good. I was watching it and I was like, damn, this feels so distinct but familiar at the same time. And I couldn't put my finger on why. It's because it's by the same director of Snowpiercer. I'm like, fuck, that's what it is. I love Snowpiercer. So like, I was getting this vibe that I couldn't place. And that's what it is. Gotta find the Fountain Youth. God, I hope so. I cannot help but reminisce of when I was in pain constantly. Watch all the Simpsons. I've watched. I've been sick for 10 years. So I've had moments where I've been watched a lot of TV. Within the first couple of years of getting sick, I did binge watch The Simpsons. They were doing I think they still do it on FX. They were doing marathons of it. And I think I watched the first 8 seasons. I got up to the season where Bart flashes back to being an old man and he's on his deathbed, remembering his parents. I forget the episode, and I stopped after that because it was too emotionally draining. Oh yeah, I've heard of Orville. I've seen clips of that on TikTok quite a bit. I'm trying to slow down with TikTok because it's probably gonna get banned. But yeah, I see a lot of references. I think I'm gonna start watching Xena now that I've watched King of the Hill multiple times. I've watched Futurama multiple times. I just finished Malcolm in the Middle, so I think I want to switch to a lighthearted drama, and Xena seems like the perfect fit. When did the pain start? When I was 19, 20. Or are you talking about specifically my arms? If you're specifically talking about my arms and hands, it was about a week out from surgery. So yeah, I've dealt with this like chronic pains for 10 years. I'm always in pain. Like no matter what I'm doing, there's always like a little bit of pain. I'm just very used to it at this point. I don't have Paramount Plus, so I haven't seen anything on it yet. But again, I am still trying to watch a lot of movies. I saw a couple of episodes of Lioness with my family, because they'd have it, but I personally don't have it. I do want to eventually do like a TV reaction channel. Like I watch movies and TV and kind of edit the highlights for a side project on a separate channel, but I can't use a mouse and keyboard very much at all right now, so. I was literally doing like nanny level crafts the other day with a friend to help decorate. And I could not elevate my arms for more than like 15 minutes before the pain got too much. I had to put pillows under my arms. Like a Meemaw. You watched Your Name yet? Is that I feel like that's an anime movie, right? Hmm. Yeah, Wolfgang. I mean, this medication, I'm really bummed because this medication worked really well for a long time. My doctor and I are kind of on the same page. We, to a certain extent, we think it's because of the surgery. Anytime you have a major stressor on your body, it makes your autoimmune diseases act up, and surgery in and of itself is a major stressor. So I could just wait out a year because that's when you fully recover from surgery to see if it continues to improve. However, whenever you're in an active flare up, there is potential for long term damage. So that's the concern, is that if we just don't do anything about it, I won't be able to move my arms. Unmedicated, my rheumatoid within 6 months destroyed my knee. So like having an improper medication could still result in a lot of damage. So, and it's not like I'm already taking other stuff too, and it's still not helping, which is crazy. And my insurance tried to deny it because I guess a lot of immune suppressant medications are self injectables, but I have a needle phobia where I'll pass out if I do anything with needles. So my doctor had to be like, listen, she cannot do needles. This is a medical thing at this point. So it's just stressful and depressing. And I'm like, it's weird. I'm feeling better, so I want to like do more stuff. So I'm kind of going stir crazy in here. Because I'm in my room 90% of the time, and every time I wake up, it's just like weirdly aggravating. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Oh, thanks, Mian. But before my arms really started going to shit, I managed to get like, I have almost 200 hours on Marvel Rivals. I got to about 150 before things really started going rough. What's up, Kendu? Thank you for the resub, man. Thank you. Welcome back to the land of the living. Appreciate you.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
It's just depressing when you want to do so many things and your body just can't. I started reading books, for God's sakes. But the books can't be too heavy because I can't hold them up. I have to literally, the book either has to be in my lap or I have to be laying down to read. That's the point we're getting to. There are some days I need help combing my hair. Like, it's just like my arms are almost completely useless. Yeah, my wallpaper engine's almost always running. And Marvels, I'll hop on like 30 minutes to an hour at a time before like I can't move my wrist. Or not my wrist. It's like, how do I put it? Like when you face your hand up and down when I do that articulation, that's painful. So once that starts getting painful, I stop. No realistic squirrel scared me. Did the jump scare get you? Yeah, and also, if Rosie's in the chat, thank you for gifting me the Headhunters game. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Oh yeah, man, I feel bad. It's just depressing. There's so many like different things I want to be trying and doing, and I'm over here like, since I can't use my hands, I'm like mentally coming up with ideas on how to like change my room so it's not the same thing every fucking morning to look at, and using like those 30 minutes of burst energy to change something. Just like, yes, I accomplished something today, as menial as it is. That my brother's super into Pokemon. He's making a rip and ship channel. He's all excited. Yeah, it'll be some random time. Yeah, oh yeah. Because my, what's it called, crashes in the middle of the night. My wallpaper engine crashes in the middle of the night, and my sleep schedule's terrible right now. Slime, welcome back. 10 months
Happy
resub.
to see the best squirrel streaming again.
Thank you for everyone who stayed a member or stayed subscribed while I was inactive for so long. I really appreciate it. You don't have to do that, and yet you did. Thank you. I heard about Fragpunk today, actually. It looks neat. I got invited to... Trey will come back with the reset. It's a hype train. I got invited to play the Splitgate Alpha, but my arms were doing great. Dude, you know how frustrating... I never get hit up by companies. Because, like, I'm so inactive. The numbers have fallen so low. But I never get hit by companies. And Splitgate hit me up like, hey, are you going to check out the alpha? We'd be really excited if you played it. And I'm like, I would love to play it just because you gave me validation. But I can't move my arms. I'm like, I feel like I'm a double casted up child wanting to reach for like candy or something. Like, how could you do this to me? How you doing, Stray? Lost my job while you were gone. I had difficulty keeping mine going. I'll get it back once I'm ready for the new place. There you go, dude. No worries. Don't ever feel obligated to keep your sub up. Look, it's really competitive. Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's still super fun, depending on the matchmaking. I've had some great highlights on that game. I had almost every achievement too. I was just missing like the 1,000 kills or something. What was it? I played a lot of that game actually. Lookgate, I had 66 hours. I had 29 out of 30 achievements. I was just missing the win 147 matches or 1,047 matches. Wolfgang with the tip. Thank you so much. Super chat. Gotta get back to work. Wish you the best. I came across you from Call of Duty. You're always my favorite. Good luck friend for you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh shit, that's right, Tippity. I was supposed to play through Resident Evil 4. Fuck. I don't know if I can do that right now. I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna do it as soon as I can, but I don't know when that's gonna be. I genuinely don't know. Because that game's like what, 15 hours? That'll take like 2 months to get through if I play half an hour to an hour a day. Well, maybe not that long. Problem is I won't even be able to play every day. Do it with mods. Do what? Splitgate? Oh, I don't want to do that. No rush. Okay, I just wanted to be sure because that totally slipped my mind. I'm on the bus back from work. I'm almost home. 9 p.m. Jeez. Hey, Chris, how you doing? All things considering, I'm okay. Resident Evil 4. What mods should I use? I've never played it at all, so I was kind of hoping to go in fresh, you know? Chimbo. I do need to rewatch Treasure Planet now that you say that. It's like, what are you talking about? Oh, those kinds of mods. Because I've seen the Lady Dimitrescu mods. I've seen the lesbian catered to mods, and I've seen the man catered to mods. And I like creative for sure. Mm-mm-mm. Again, thank you for everyone who resubscribed. You should honestly host a movie night. I'll have to figure out something because I do think that would be fun. But I also need you to understand I have so little energy throughout the day. I am coasting right now. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to figure something out. 50 gift to the sub. Thank you so much. I have to change the Christmas alerts. That's how far behind I am, dude. Everything's all gunked up. Tiffany gifted 5 subs. I'm sorry. I didn't understand your game. Holy hell. I think there's one I would change, the voice changer mod and the classic dress. Listen, I did not know about Ada Wong until recently. Good God. Why are you hiding these pretty women from me, chat? That woman has no business being that fine. Good God. How is this possible? The Monster Hunter ladies? My goodness. Sorry, that's the only energy I got for today is simping over pretty women in video games. And support our cyborg squirrel? Seriously, dude. I'm gonna have to make it like a... I genuinely, I don't have one now because I don't make that much money. I'm genuinely gonna have to make like a savings account for medical expenses at this point because it's just... that shit gets so bad so quick. If it ain't Wong, it's wrong. God. I hate y'all sometimes. Am I that cringe? I discovered Monster Java and I'm gonna destroy my kidneys. If you're gonna be incredibly irresponsible with the amount of energy you drinks you take... I'm trying to words. If you're gonna drink a can of... How many do you drink? You think you drink? 2, 3, 4? Please less than 4. Like 2 is already pushing it. But if you're drinking 2 a day, please drink at least 2 full glasses of water in between them. 1 a day. You're fine. I drink 1 a day monsters and my kidneys are okay, as far as I know. And I am deeply immune suppressed. So just drink lots of water in between. You'll be all right. Chuck in a monster. It's so bad for you to have more than 1 a day. I've known people who have had 3 a day and they didn't have any long-term issues, but they did it when they were young, so. I can use my favorite emotes again. There you go, dude. Ada's voice actor is probably the only one that let me down. The rest of the game was really well. She was part of, oh, yeah. So she was part of the strike. That makes sense. I don't blame her. I don't blame her for staying with the strike then. I'm sure she was really bummed about it too, to be honest. I haven't had a monster in years. Me either. I had like a blood pressure scare last year where my blood pressure got up to 180 over 100. If you've never experienced blood pressure like that with a rapid heart rate, horrifying. It'll make you quit caffeine for at least a year. I swear to God, I drink as minimal caffeine as possible. My blood pressure is much better. If anything, my blood pressure is actually running low these days. Because of I've had to balance out the different health issues. I have a health issue now that my blood pressure like it dropped to like 108 over like 70 something or 60 something when I was in rehab, and the nurse is like, I'm gonna do that one more time. And it was the same reading. And like, do me a favor, don't sit up today. At least until we come check on you again, okay? Here's some water. Here's some electrolytes. Take your salt pill and we'll see how this goes. Like, okay. Got it. Understood. But that was back when my POTS was so bad post-surgery. My heart rate was 150 standing up. That was miserable. God. They did come out with a bunch of new flavors for Monster, I heard. That's how they keep you coming back for more. Which is weird, because I feel like people who drink Monster are like diehards for a particular flavor. Am I wrong for that? Addicted to Animal Crossing? Which one? The new one? Yeah, every time when I was in the hospital after my surgery, because my hemoglobin dropped to a dangerous level, they hooked me up to a heart monitor because I was passing out, and that's really not good post-surgery. And one of the indicators was my heart rate, so they hooked me up to a heart monitor. And every time I would go up to go pee, or just like do anything like around that nature, my heart rate would start at 140 and the machine starts going off at 140. So I would just have this terrified nurse come in and be like, what you doing? I had to pee. Can we not do that right now? Can you lay back down for me? Your heart rate's 180. Oh, that felt pretty high. You could feel it? Sure can. And it was that for 2 weeks straight of just nurses constantly coming in like, the nurse's station is concerned. Are you okay? So that's not fun. That's no bueno. And yeah. Have you tried Dying Light? Not yet. I've seen good things about it though. The only parkour game I've ever played was Mirror's Edge. And nothing crazed. The insane thing is my heart is totally okay. They did multiple echocardiograms, multiple EKGs. My heart is totally fine. I have a condition called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So what it means is whenever I go from laying down to sitting, my heart rate increases by at least 30 beats. And that's not normal. Your heart rate should normally change like 10 beats or so. And it should recover very quickly. But with POTS, it doesn't. The system that controls like your breathing and your heart and your just all your systems is fucked up for whatever reason. And yeah. They think I got it from the Rona. Are you gonna try Splitgate 2? I am, once it's in beta. I missed out on the alpha, unfortunately. What's up, Walton? How you doing? So yeah, again, I'm watching a lot of TV and movies. You guys want to talk about movies? Mickey 17, I recommend it. If you're into like slightly different, quirky, but also like weirdly violent. It wasn't violent. I don't know the word for it. Like it had violence, but it wasn't like out of the ordinary. I guess it was very on the nose with certain subject matters. Have you seen Invincible? Yes. I'm all caught up. Avowed. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't bought any games recently because I can't play very much right now. Django is good. I've seen Django. Is this a spoiler-free zone? I'm gonna try to be spoiler-free for now. But Mickey 17, I think, is a worthy watch for sure. Fast and the Furious franchise. I liked it up to like Tokyo Drift, and then it just started getting absurd. But the whole series as a whole, it's like it's just kind of mindless watching, which it's fine. I don't think I don't think mindless movies are a bad thing necessarily. I feel like there's just too many mindless movies, if that makes sense. Um, I've seen Blade Runner. What is it? Was it 2077? No, 2042. I'm mixing up with Cyberpunk. I have seen that Blade Runner. It's one of my. What's the word for it? Guilty pleasures, I guess. I love watching that movie. I need to buy it on 4K. I haven't seen the original Blade Runner though. I've seen all the John Wick movies. Bambi, I didn't know they were coming out with a new Bambi. Jesus. What's up, Villa? I haven't watched the new Captain America. That's on my list for this week. Again, I have an app where I subscribe to my local theater for like $20 a month, and I can watch unlimited standard movies. So I'm gonna watch that this week because it's free. Stopped watching after Furious 4 and then started watching once I found out Vin Diesel and The Rock both have a clause in their contracts that their characters can't be beat in a fight, and I think that's funny. It is funny and really sad, actually. Also, chat, if you want to ruin movies for yourself for a little bit, Apple has a clause where if you're going to use their phones in movies, only the good guys can use iPhones. Oh yeah, John Wick 4. Is that real? Oh, it's real. Yeah, only the good guys can use the iPhones. John Wick 4, story-wise, was lackluster, but cinematically, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning. I have the first 3 on 4K. I'm gonna have to get the fourth one when it's on sale. Because again, it's like really beautiful to watch, but also like story-wise. Just woke up sleeping for 16 hours. Oh yeah, chug some water, dude. Oh, Marvel, of course Marvel's gonna produce more terrible movies. That's just how it is. They're throwing things at the wall until it sticks at this point. I have not watched Lord of the Rings since I was a kid, so I think that's one I want to marathon at some point. Thoughts on Star Wars? I really like the prequels because that's what I grew up on. I didn't hate the newer ones, but I can see why people really don't like them. But I also think to a certain extent, right? I'm a nerd who enjoys like stuff made for mostly kids. Like I like Avatar, I like those things. Star Wars is mostly made for kids, and to a certain extent, the new Star Wars is not made for me. It's made for the 10-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? So like I get where people are coming from as a long-term fan, but just know you're not the primary demographic anymore. Same thing with like people who are complaining about Pokemon having not great graphics. This is the most Pokemon is literally, if not top 3 most expensive properties in the world. They can do whatever the hell they want, and little kids are still going to buy Pokemon. It's never been the most graphically impressive game ever, even in the 90s. So all these content creators who are mad that it's not like incredibly graphically intense, it doesn't make sense to me because I know for a fact you're going to buy the game anyway and make content on it because that's what your job is. And you're allowed to complain about it, but it just feels like pointless if you're not going to like back up what you're saying. You know what I mean? Again, you're allowed to complain, but I know for a fact you guys are going to play these games and you're going to review them and you're going to like do all these things. You can still critique it, but it's still going to sell like hotcakes. It's Pokemon. Of course it's going to sell like crazy. Like a little 5-year-old playing their first Pokemon game is not going to give a damn that it's 1080p and clunky. They don't care. They don't know half the words you're using to describe what you're talking about. You could talk to the average adult and they don't know what 4K graphics looks like compared to 1080. They can't really tell the difference. I have seen the scalping. My brother's very much into the card market right now, and the scalping's been insane. I've been trying to pick up Pokemon for him when I am able to get out of the house for a little bit, and it's just cleared shelves. Last Pokemon game I played was back during Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I feel like that's most people my age. They played when they were little, and that's it. New GPU situation as well. I can't really critique the new GPU situation because I don't know too much about it. But if I had to assume, NVIDIA is a monopoly. They have been for the last like 10 years. And they're making very minimal improvements and selling it for way more than it should sell for, and scalpers are only making it worse. Is that pretty on the nose? That's been the story for the last few GPUs, I feel like. I'm lucky I got the 3080 when I got it. The scalpers couldn't even buy NVIDIA. That's bad. That's a bad shortage. That's terrible. Wow. There are none to sell. Do you think they're selling directly to like crypto farmers at this point? I wouldn't put it past them. Just completely skip the middleman of scalpers and just sell all your inventory to those crypto miners directly. And so there's no inventory to go up for sale. There's like, what, 10 cards per site or store? And the rest is already sold out. It's like pre-allocated. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's bad, dude. It's real bad. Unfortunately, people would rather, I get where people are coming from. Honestly, people would rather scalp all day and just run their little scalping businesses from home than work a shitty 9 to 5 and get paid pennies to the dollar. That's why more and more people are doing it. No one wants to work for these shitty companies. But one of the ways we coped with working for terrible companies was our hobbies, and those are getting invaded too. A paper launch, I believe, is the term. Interesting. I mean, from the one video I saw from Gamers Nexus, I don't understand because I feel like it's a little bit over my realm of understanding with how it like works and how the cards are designed and like the graphic fidelity and the FPS output. But from what I understand, the 580 is not better than the 4090, which they were claiming it was, unless you're using the AI. I love working 9 to 5, honestly. It's fulfilling and satisfying. I could not tell you how much I would crave to work for a decent 9 to 5 because I wouldn't have to worry about money as much. I would love to like do stocking and shit, but I literally cannot physically do it. Yeah, I heard the 5070 is just a joke. Probably selling to AI development companies. Yeah, AI, crypto. It's just, ooh, it is not good, especially in the US. Our economy is going to crash soon. It's not looking good. We're in more debt than we were in 2008, which was our last big recession. But I feel like these credit card companies have structured themselves so people don't go homeless as quickly, and that's why we haven't really seen a as much as a devastating impact. I'm chilling with the 3090. So am I. I had the 1080 until it stopped performing as well because it was just a 10-year-old card, and I got the 3080 last year. They say it's gonna crash. I'll believe it when I see it. My worry is it's like structured to crash, but institutions are gonna prop it up. You know what I mean? Like the everyday person is gonna feel absolutely crushed by the economy, but these institutions are gonna keep it up on paper. It's like, guys, it didn't crash. Look, it's good, and everyone's like dying in the streets because they can't afford fruit. You know what I mean? I know that's a huge exaggeration. But that's what it kind of feels like right now, dude. Groceries are insane. And I'm just buying less groceries. I can't afford to spend more. Oh, I'm sure if it does crash, it's just going to be a huge wealth exchange. Like a lot of the billionaires are going to just buy up all the stocks on sale. For them, it's a sale. For us, it's a crisis. Oh, look at that Nvidia at $50 a share. Ooh, thank you very much. $20 Apple shares. Don't mind if I do. After everyone panic sold so they didn't lose their house. Again, this is very hyperbolic, but it's kind of the situation that we're looking into. $30 for pads? That's crazy. I saw a box of diapers for like, what was it? No, the formula. It was a container of formula for $50. I don't even know what diapers are right now. It's insane. I can't imagine people having kids right now. Been underclocking your 4080. Why are you underclocking it? So it doesn't overheat? Oh yeah, investment firms, foreign companies are buying up a lot of land too. I haven't, Grant. What is that? Is that a game or is someone streaming their fish tank? I used to like. I had a wallpaper on my old. I'm sure it was a Windows 98 computer. And it was a fish tank. I remember that. Undervolting. Gotcha. They did, Kendu. They did. Unfortunately. Yeah, man. I'm having fun with Pokemon until like it's gonna get to the point where no one can buy anything. Only reason I've been able to buy Pokemon recently is because I'm only buying it at MSRP. I meant as in my GPU can't. Oh, I see. Your GPU, your CPU is being bottlenecked. I mean, I feel like AMD CPUs are pretty affordable right now. Especially the 7800. That's like the top of line gaming CPU, and it's expensive. It's like a couple $100, but I feel like it's still cheaper than Nvidia. And I've heard people having issues where their not Nvidia, their Intel CPUs are bricking. I've been looking at i7 10K 700 right now. Gotcha. I don't know anything about Nvidia GPUs, right? Or not Nvidia, I'm sorry. I keep mixing up Nvidia and Intel. I don't know anything about Intel CPUs other than that. They're a bit overpriced compared to AMD right now. And the bricking issue. Runes of Magic. Never played it. Want a pre-built, but my little Nova laptop would actually be okay with a CPU and VRAM upgrade. Is your laptop compatible with upgrades? I know some are. Most aren't, though. What's up, Leo? Yeah, I feel like pre-builts are like the only way people are getting those high-end cards. That or they have to get like really crappy bundles on Newegg. Like, oh, here's a 4080 and a motherboard from 3 years ago for $3,000. It's like, huh? Like, dang, I know you guys want to get rid of your old inventory, but you don't have to make it that obvious. Jeez. Well, that's right. I have to back up all my VODs. There's a 100-hour VOD limit now. Or highlight limit, I should say. Oh yeah, dude, good pre-builds are like maybe $100 to $200 more. And if you do not want to risk putting your computer together or spending the 6 hours to put a computer together for the first time, I totally see why people would do it. And a lot of these companies have warranties for a year or two to fix up any issues you have with it. I don't blame people, man. I think pre-builts, as long as you like do a smidge of research into what you're buying, it makes sense. Are pre-builts even worth right now? I would say so. Again, you have to do your research on like, are they upcharging on components or are they just charging an additional build fee of like a couple $100s? If you go to Reddit, they'll yell at you for being PC illiterate and tell you to go away for not building your GPU by hand. But I would say yes, there are some genuinely good pre-built deals out there. And a big problem too is this, again, if you want a decent graphics card right now, they're being scalped to hell, so they're being like charged for obscene prices unless you get a pre-built because the pre-built company wants business. Yeah, the pre-builts I have, I all got from CyberPower, but I haven't had a CyberPower build in like 5+ years, so I don't know how much it's changed. That if you get a pre-built, you can't buy the excuse me. If you get a pre-built, you can't buy the cheapest components. Like people will buy the cheapest power supply and the cheapest RAM, and it's just not a good computer. And from my experiences, the lower end components do tend to be overpriced for pre-builts. Reddit is a harsh environment. It depends on the subreddit. It really does. Whenever you're getting into like a very niche hobby, I think that's when it gets really obnoxious. Like the H2O subreddit, I forget what it's called. There's like a water subreddit. There's like a short story subreddit that has so many rules, like pieces of work that have been published that were originally conceived on that form no longer fall within the rule set. Again, very niche hobbies tend to have very passionate super nerds that are very protective of their hobbies. And if you're not doing it exactly how they approve of, they don't want you anywhere near their subreddit. So. But then there's like r/cute animals or like things along those lines, you know? Where it's like, hey man, can you post a cute picture of your cat? Thanks. Appreciate you. Retro games and consoles. Oh yeah. I do not recommend buying unless you are like allergic to modding in any sense of the imagination. It is so much cheaper to buy a decent like PSP or whatever console you want to get. Buy a decent looking one. If it's scuffed up, you can always replace the shell and learn how to mod. Modding is super easy if you don't want to even open the thing up. There are plenty of mods that you can do that are just software based. Got your Wii for £15. I got a Wii and a 360 with a bunch of games and multiple controllers for 90. So that was a pretty good deal. I got that at a yard sale. Only problem is it's the entertainment Wii, so it's the black Wii. So it doesn't have a it's not backwards compatible with GameCube. And there's no way to plug in GameCube controllers, which is unfortunate. It's like that with Lego. Dude, I was like looking at some Lego sets. There's a Lego set that's getting discontinued, the Batman animated series. You know how Lego's coming out with like the flat like wall art Lego sets? Dude, $300. I was gonna get it because it's gonna be discontinued, but I'm not paying $300 for a piece of wall art. That's insane. I don't care if it's Lego. Holy hell, Batman. It is too much, man. It's a cool looking set. Not that cool. I could save a couple $100 and get like a giant statuette from Sideshow. Should be nowhere near that. It's let me see if I can find it. Yeah, look up Batman Animated Series Lego. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe because it has a bunch of minifigs. Series Lego. Let's see. You tell me. I'm not a Lego person. I know very little about it. It has 4,210 pieces, which seems like a lot. 4 minifigs. And it's 17 inches by 30 inches by 30 inches in or 3 inches in diameter, excuse me. Did you watch Invincible? Yes. I just don't see where this price is coming from. It looks super cool, but not $300 cool. I felt like I had a visceral reaction to seeing that price tag. I felt like my parent. I felt like my dad whenever I'd be like, Dad, can I get this? Like, huh? You know, you get that little jolt. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anything licensed like Star Wars or Marvel's double. Oh, that makes sense. Like you see that on Discord too when like you're trying to look at the Discord collabs. The collabs are twice the price. I'm not paying $30 for a border around my avatar. Are you insane? Looks great. Yeah, it's just too expensive, man. I just don't. And the thing is there. I want to say no one's going to buy it, but there are definitely people who are going to spend that kind of money. I think so many people are just way too comfortable putting themselves in obscene amounts of credit card debt. I have like $1,000 in credit card debt right now, and I'm like stressing. Like, how do you guys do this? How do people have 30 grand in credit card debt? Like, that's okay. I gotta get another Lego. Ka-ching. Like, oh my God. Jesus Christ. How you doing? I'm still not feeling great. If I'm being 100% with you, I still can't really move my arms all that well, but I got approved for my medication, so in about a month I'll be able to get and see if it helps. The Valorant prices are absurd. Oh yeah. I feel like the only game that has decent prices right now is Marvel Rivals. Which is it makes my head hurt kind of. What's up, Spirit? How you doing? It's gotten worse and worse. Oh yeah, dude. I pray for anyone who's into gacha games. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine what your wallet's feeling right now. I was in a Genshin Impact for a couple months and this pretty lady appeared in the store and I was like, no, I can't. And I quit the game because I didn't want to get tempted. I literally didn't want to get tempted to spend money, so I quit the game. Tuna content? Hell yeah, dude. It's just me sitting in a blanket. That's all I can do right now. True with the resub. Welcome back. I'm hanging in there, man. I was playing Nikki during the Evangelion collab. I always mix up saying that. To restrain myself from buying anything off Valorant. I really, maybe because I'm broke, it's easier for me to like no to microtransactions. I have a harder time saying no to straight up buying games versus microtransactions, but I think it's just, I remember my boomers coming out. I remember when microtransactions were $2.50 and you could buy McDonald's 10-piece for like $5. Those were good times. Now they're trying to charge $20 a skin and I just kind of stare into the abyss and wonder what went wrong. Oh yeah, $30 a skin is just, unless it is like my main character and I'm going to use that skin forever, it just doesn't make sense. I generally don't understand people who play a single character and have every skin for that character, especially if they have multiple legendary skins. That makes zero sense to me. What are you doing? That's like $200 worth of skins, and you're only able to use one at a time. Microsoft points. Oh, remember like the little things you can buy for your avatar? Good times, dude. Good times. Everyone, I feel like everyone had the Assassin's Creed stuff. Or Guitar Hero. Microsoft points that brings back, dude. People are starting to post nostalgic edits of Xbox 360. You know how old that makes me feel? God. I'm decrepit. And not just because I have crepitus in my bones from the arthritis. And I feel like Game Pass is still a good deal. As much as like people brag on Xbox for not coming out with good stuff. CSGO skins are cool. Don't remind me. I have so many. Over the years, people have gifted me so many things on CSGO. I haven't touched that game in so long. You ignore cases? Oh, God. Yeah. I was always pretty good about cases on CSGO. I think the most I opened at any given time was because stream told me to, not because I wanted to. And I fought you guys every moment. You guys know how much I don't like gambling. And it became a meme. It's like, here, Tina, I'll give you $20. Go open a case right now. It's like, I hate you for making me do this. Bastards. The only time I like gambling is Pokemon cards. You love cases. I do not. I thoroughly disagree. That every closet gambler. You don't know nothing. We don't talk anymore, Reaper. I haven't spoken to him since 2019. He blocked everybody. Every once in a while, I'll sell a CSGO case so I can buy a video game. Because some of the cases that I got gifted over the years have really gone up in price. What's a case? Let me see. Because back when they were given to me, they were worthless. But now, like, I think one of the cases I have is like $8. Is it the Chroma 2? No. Oh, it's the Outbreak case. It's $9.47 now. I've definitely sold quite a few of those. I still have like $100 worth of Outbreak cases in my inventory. There's so many Outbreak cases. Jesus Christ. And then shadow cases, no one cares about those. There's like 20 Outbreak cases here. Do TF2 hats have value? Yes, they do. Not nearly as much as knives in CSGO, but there's absolutely a dedicated community that collect a small amount of cosmetics in Team Fortress 2. If I had people encouraging me to open cases, I'd be bankrupt. That's why you have them give you more than you're spending. If you want me to open cases, I need to offset the cost. I'm not going broke because you forced me to open cases. That's not happening. Have you played Black Ops 6 recently? I haven't played it in, I want to say since December. I want to open cases so bad. Fam, they would not be in my, these cases have been in my inventory for over, I want to say over 5+ years. How long have I been a CSGO player? Since 2012. No, I have the 5-year veteran badge, so it's between 5 and 10 years. Bam. They would already be open. I know 2012 was way more than 5 years ago. Don't remind me. Don't remind me. I wish fix the game. Wolfgang, there actually was some news recently. Valve has leaked, or not leaked at this point. Valve has given out the source code for Team Fortress 2 and the SGK kit, whatever it's called. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. They said, and they're giving full permission to re-release the game on the stores modified. So you can customize TF2 to your liking and make it like no crits TF2 and re-release it onto the Steam stores as a separate game, and it's allowed. You can make your own version of TF2, and it also has the metadata. So say you have a flaming pompadour in TF2, you can make it so that also appears in your fan-made game. So odds are there's going to be a bunch of shovelware, but there is, I assume, that the community is going to come up with a couple of concerted efforts to revitalize Steam or Team Fortress 2. Because I imagine they're just done developing for it and they have no plans to make a sequel. Otherwise, they wouldn't have released the source code. I think the closest thing to a sequel we're getting was, what was the game that came out recently from Valve? Was it Deadlock? I feel like that is the closest thing to a TF2 sequel or a successor you're getting from Valve these days. I think they've moved on. Pretty much can do. It's either that or let the game slowly be consumed by hackers until it was absolutely unplayable. Oh yeah, Portal 2 would be great, dude. I love the Portal series. So cute. I don't know, man. Valve has some very good consumer practices. They have their problems, especially when it comes to moderation. Good God, I have seen slurs from the 30s on those games. But Valve, besides content moderation, or besides like chat moderation, I should say, they have some incredibly good consumer practices besides that. Like Valve has made it so you cannot have games with ads that interrupt your gameplay now. That has like been something they've actively changed in their TOS. Slippery soap. You could say that about anything, can you? What, I can't murder people? Well, what? What's next? Like, there's always a line. The community / the people involved have to decide that line. Society has to decide that line. Too strict and no one talks. I'd rather be in a lobby where no one talks than be called a slur constantly. And maybe you can do it's maybe because I'm sure you've dealt with your own shit talk, but I don't know, dude. If you're a woman who uses open mic in games, it is almost constant. It is almost constant. And sometimes I just want to play the video game. So it's a delicate balance. I get where people are coming from, but yeah, there needs to be moderation. Otherwise, you would see some horrendous things. They don't care about maintaining their games. I feel like anything they do to help consumers just to keep Steam a monopoly. Well, yeah, of course. Like, of course they're going to benefit from keeping their platform the best. Like this is not a selfless act. We're just doing this out of the goodness of. No, we want people to stay on Steam, and the easiest way to do that is to do consumer-friendly practices. And yet you see companies like Ubisoft who are like, no, we're not going to do that. Get fucked. So like, yeah, they're doing the bare minimum, but there are plenty of companies who aren't doing the bare minimum. So it feels like it's like, shit, I'm going to go with the company that actually kind of sort of wants my money. Yeah, no CEO is doing anything out of the goodness of their heart. Developing a thick skin is important for life. For sure. I've developed a thick enough skin from almost dying multiple times of an autoimmune disease. I just don't want to get called a slur online. Is that crazy? Is that absurd? Like, I get people have fun with the back and forth. I have fun back and forth with my friends without having to use certain language. Limitation breeds creativity. The most hilarious insults I've dealt with include no slurs. It happens on a regular basis where someone will floor you with an insult and you don't know how to respond. Ooh, yeah, Valve is definitely better than Activision or EA or Ubisoft. I still think EA, Activision, Ubisoft are all terrible in their own like, I don't even know the word. They're all terrible in their own distinct way. It's just again, Valve is like, clearly they want to be in a monopoly. They want all the money. They're still the biggest digital platform when Microsoft is trying to compete, being a much bigger company, and they can't touch them. That is for a reason. Again, they just have better consumer practices. Because that's all it really takes. If you have a better product, more likely people are going to use your product. That's not always the case. GOG, some people argue that GOG is a better product because it's DRM free, meaning I could, once I buy the game, I could put it on a hard drive and have no connection to the internet and still play that thing. It is my video game on GOG. But a lot of people don't like the chat integration and just the overall, like, there's no achievements on GOG. There are things that people prefer as a whole package on Steam versus GOG. Ubisoft has a bad store. It's a bad user experience. They force you to log into their proprietary account system to play their games. It's easy to get locked out of those systems and never recover your accounts. There's multiple reasons that people hate Ubisoft. And that doesn't even include the games themselves. Ubisoft has put out some garbage games over the years because they rushed them out. Yeah, if you purely care about games, go with GOG. I agree. But people like the whole package. For some people, gaming is just like the means in which to interact with other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like games, but they like playing with other people and interacting with others more. Yeah, I feel like Steam is just a simpler system for that. And more people are on Steam, so you're going to go where the people are. Oh yeah, cut off. I've heard, aren't they like re-releasing Siege, but it's just kind of like a remaster, even though they're calling it like Siege, Rainbow Six Siege X for like 10 years. Man, I use Battle.net. Battle.net's Activision. I use Battle.net too for World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. That's about it. I wish Steam let you have DRM games. I'm sure they have a reason behind it in which I don't understand. I don't know the technical nuances with game development and managing all these properties, but I think GOG kind of has its success because it is a smaller platform, and I think more companies are like, okay, we'll let some people have the game DRM free. You know what I mean? Versus if it was Steam, I think they would be more upset if users had DRM free options. You know what I mean? It's just an upgrade physics and graphics wise. Yeah, that's not a sequel. That's just a remaster. I'm sure the diehard people who are gonna keep playing regardless don't mind that, but it's not enough to get people to come back. That is one of the sweatiest games I've ever hopped into. My God. Huh? What are you talking about, Cutoff? Wish they didn't ruin Tarkov. All games are meant to die, unfortunately. And I mean that more so for multiplayer games. All multiplayer games come to an end. There are very few exceptions. There will always be like a small, minute, diehard subset of players who will continue to play that game until they are themselves dead. But that's a couple thousand people per game, maybe. So like that's the unfortunate reality. Games die. Single player games, no, they lose like popularity, but you can always go back and play a single player game. Oh yeah, you can always do LAN, absolutely. But again, at that point, it's not the same experience. You need to study Fortnite and its multiple resurgences. Dude, Fortnite is such an absurd outlier. It's like trying to make Minecraft again. It's not happening. Like I heard Notch is trying to make Minecraft too. That ain't happening, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. That is lightning in a bottle. You're not capturing that twice. That is a phenomenon. Those aren't games anymore. They're phenomenons. They've become entities of their own. Same thing with Roblox. Those are like such extreme examples. And it's part of the reason why video games are kind of struggling, like game development is struggling right now, because a lot of these companies are like, make that. So everything has a damn battle pass. Remember when the old single player discs, they had activation limits? Yeah, I remember they did that for a little while. Ubisoft did that. Oh God, that was obnoxious. So Ubisoft did a thing for a little bit. I don't remember the years, but it was like the 360 era. When you bought your game, it was sealed and it had, you know how you had a code for like Xbox Live? It had a code to activate the game. If you wanted to play the game, you had to use the activation code. Oh my God, that was like such a buried memory. When did Ubisoft use activation codes? I want to say like 2008 to like 2010. No. Ubisoft had activation codes from 2009 to 2012. Later Uplay from 2012 to 2020. That recently? First iteration of Ubisoft. So not PC, for console games. For console. It was Assassin's Creed 3. I remember this. Oh my God. Ubisoft used activation codes for console games along with PC games with the introduction of their Uplay/Ubisoft Connect platform, which began in 2011 with Assassin's Creed 3. Oh my God. Locating your activation code. Oh my God. Oh God. Terrible. Talk about anti-consumer. What a nightmare. We never have old Halo Land style energy anymore. You just gotta set that up yourself, man. If you want to have a LAN, you gotta have some friends. I see plenty of YouTube videos where people are like, we're doing our summer LAN party, and they all bring their computers. And you just got to make it happen. Be the change you want to see in the world. Oh yeah, people were really excited for Division 1 when it first launched. It was a cool concept, but not very well executed. But at least not very well maintained. Yeah, you can still play Halo. I do believe like games like Halo, the OG Call of Duties, they all have community servers that you can connect to. You just gotta look up videos on how to find them. So again, it's a tiny community, but they're there. Even for like very niche like console only games too. When was the last time you laughed so hard? Oh god. I don't know. It's been a long time. I think it's because I can't hang out with the guys as much as I used to. I used to love playing the games with the guys. It dropped down to like once a week for a while, and then I can't use a mouse and keyboard for more than an hour. People are reviving Xbox servers with mods. I believe it. Yeah, as games get older and older and gamers get older and older, there's gonna be people who decide I just want to play old stuff. Like they'll stop playing modern games and just want to play the old stuff that they're interested in. I don't know. Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and Brotherhood to a lesser extent. Great games, man. It's just such a bummer. I used to get excited when I used to see the Ubisoft logo. I'll probably end up getting Shadows to try it because I haven't been this interested in a Ubisoft game for a while, but yeah, man, that's what happens when money comes over everything else. And more, it's not just a game studio problem, it's a movie industry problem as well. They're trying to get these like $billion hits instead of making like 50 or $500,000 budget games that slap. They're all trying to make these big blockbuster games, and when they fail, it cripples them. So they have to double down even more on the microtransactions. Yeah, I was a big Assassin's Creed fan back in the day. I remember being excited for all that stuff. I even played the mobile game. There was a mobile game. There was a couple that came out, but I played a mobile game, and I want to say a PSP game. I could be wrong. It might have been a Vita game. Yeah, I played all those games. I was so excited for Assassin's Creed 3 to come out, and then it just slapped me in the face. Oh yeah, it wasn't just the movie. The movie was just a side effect of a bigger problem. Do you play DS games? I do. Not as much now, but I have modded I guess they're physically modded. So I have a 3DS XL with a USB port installed into it so I can actually stream my DS. And I also have a DS Lite that's modded as well. Again, physically modded, not software mods. Eventually I do want to have a software mod for one of my 3DSs. I have so many, so I was collecting those consoles for a while. I don't have the Assassin's Creed game. You know what game I do have on DS that I'd like to stream one of these days? I have Modern Warfare 3 on the DS. I want to see how bad that is. Disc DLC. Oh yeah, I remember you could buy those things. I heard people like Black Flag. I heard a lot of good things. Didn't Yakuza come out with a pirate game recently that people were like, this is what Ubisoft should have launched instead of Skull and Bones? Don't play the DS COD. Come on, it'll be fun. Is it just like a story clicking? What is it? Point and click adventure? Is that what COD on the DS is like? I also have COD on the Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii. I remember seeing gameplay of that back in the day. Good God, those poor gamers. Those poor souls who could only play Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, it was horrendous. It's not an FPS. It's not even the same story. What is it then? Save your sprained wrist. Let me see if I can find it. Oh god. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember. Oh. Honestly, it's not as bad as I remember. It's still pretty bad. Not shipment. What was it? What was that one satellite game? Hold on. Oh, God. It looks like an arcade, like an arcade shooter. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I must show the people. Hold on. This is Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii. Poor bastard. Jesus. These lobbies must have been magical. These are real people, by the way. I don't know how you're supposed to aim. Who decided this was a good idea? Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, this is the OG VR Call of Duty, huh? All right, let's look up on the 3DS. ES. Modern Warfare 3's surprisingly good DS port. Someone disagrees with you. Someone said it was good. Oh my god. That person lied. Guys, it's actually pretty good. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is like PS1. Hold on. Let me skip to the gameplay, brother. Oh god. I honestly thought it would be worse. But it's still really bad. Oh my god, the cutscenes are slideshow! Stop. Stop. There's no animated cutscenes. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's James Bond. That's N64. That's GoldenEye. Jesus Christ. No one said Nintendo was very graphically intensive. I'm sure there's someone commenting like, that's the only way I could play, guys. Don't make fun of me. That's all I could do when I was 10. I had a revelation of what? There was a DS port of GoldenEye. Oh my god, I'm sure there was. And it probably looked pretty good. It worked amazingly for a pirated game. Oh, I'm sure. Dude, you underestimate how dedicated gamers are when it comes to getting free shit. Like, these people are truly passionate about the games they play. That they're willing to get it for free. And they're willing to make it happen for the rest of the world. That takes commitment. That takes passion. It's free. It's out of the goodness of their heart. They're sharing it with the world. Yeah, I don't pirate games, but I do emulate games. Because most of the games I do emulate are either out of print, so they're obscenely expensive, Or I own a physical copy of the game, and I'd rather not break out one of my 15 consoles to play it. Cut off. What are you going on about today, man? COD Zombies Mobile. I don't think I ever played that. I still think Kingdom Hearts 2 is peak. I think you're correct. It's hard to beat a 2-hour long epilogue or a prologue that still keeps people satisfied. It's not piracy if there's no legal way to obtain it. Companies disagree. And they're the ones who pay the lobbyists to make the laws, so unfortunately, it's not the case. Legally standing. Morally standing, I think you're correct. But unfortunately, morals and laws don't always mix. And rarely they do. Ah, I see. Black Flag, that makes more sense. And Japan is very notorious with their copyright law. They have a very aggressive copyright law compared to America. And America has some over-the-top copyright law too. Like the Nemesis system for the Middle-earth games. Criminal. They own that copyright till 2036. And they still haven't used it since the Shadow of War series. Or the Middle-earth series. I don't know what to call it. What's up, Green? I'm not that old as I knit with pillows supporting my elbows. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. How you doing? I'm hurting. That's just life. If I can't see Lara Croft in 4D, I don't want it. More for me. I'll look at a lesbian in 240p. That's all I got. I'll make it work. How you doing? Again, I'm alright. I'm hurting, but I meant it in a wholesome way. My bad. It's okay. I'm just teasing. Old school Laura's best Laura. I didn't play the old. Well, I did play the demo for the original Tomb Raider. I never got out of the jail because I was like 6. I didn't know how the game worked. But I do own Tomb Raider, one of the newer ones, like 2014. And I thought the like anime-esque show that came out recently was pretty good. It was fine. It wasn't great. But I was still simping. Like, I won't lie to you. She's still hot. Should try out the remasters at some point, I'm sure. Oh yeah, cut off. I feel like most people just have a VPN. I feel like VPN usage in the last 2 years alone, just based on those laws, have skyrocketed. Like, I feel like VPNs don't even default to those states anymore. Before, like, you would get a VPN, like, you would randomly connect, and it would default you to one of the states that made those legal changes, and now I don't even think those are in rotation right now. Because they know most people are using VPNs for that reason. Most everyday people. Cut off. That's why they want to make it so less adults. They say it's to protect the kids, but in reality, it's purity policing. That's all it is. They know no one's gonna enter their ID unless they're like 75. No one's gonna put their ID online. So it's a way of purity policing. Yeah, unfortunately, people are like, don't play this publisher's game. Don't play this publisher's game. Most publishers have at least one or multiple devs that are ass. I don't know if that's the unfortunate reality. Or they're a dev under a shitty company. It's so unfortunate, but there's too many dickheads within this space. It's hard to avoid it. Oh, Wolfgang, don't get in trouble, dude. Don't lose your job. We're just chit-chatting. Modders worked on the remaster. See, I do think more companies should hire modders. Like, clearly these people have a passionate drive to mod video games. You see the new lesbian anime coming out? Are you talking about, like, the girl? I have a crush on the guy who's actually a girl. Is that the one? I know that's a manga that recently got announced for an anime. Love you to the dare. Oh, that's the toxicity one that's got announced. Yeah. Apparently there's different categories of lesbian anime. I'm learning so much. Brother, you need to go handle something. Go handle something. Come back. Good God. I thought I was a simp. I'm gonna inherit the company. I should be safe. You would think so, but stranger things have happened. Yeah. So we'll see how I'm gonna watch, like I said, I'm gonna watch the Captain America movie this week. We'll see how it is. I've heard mixed things. I still don't understand Harrison Ford, great actor. He's like an actor of a century, you know. You don't get many like him. That being said, the man is in his late 70s. He seems actively confused on the red carpet. Why is he still acting in movies? Great guy. Again, living legend. Whenever he's interviewed for these movies, he seems to have active disdain for the movies he's participating in. What is am I missing something? Like, I get it, you gotta get your bread. But like, this dude is absolutely phoning it in. He's not dead. He should be retired. He's been doing this for 40 plus years. I just like, he keeps getting hired for roles, and he, like, again, they're interviewing him. What do you think about the movie? This and that. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like, okay, why are you here? Who hired you? He's so over it. He's so overacting. Like, he actively does not want to do this anymore. And they just he's a living legend. Not in his mind. He fucking hates this shit. Maybe because this is how he was when he's young, too. I've heard that before. I heard that he's always hated giving interviews. And he's always hated, like, the culture around movies, but fucking hell. I feel like the only movie he's actively interested in participating in is the Indiana Jones series. I feel like that's the only time he lights up. Star Wars, especially Star Wars. My God, I feel like you talk about Star Wars, he wants to spit in your face. That does make sense. He likes to work, not the celebrity aspect. Gotcha. I don't know. I think the man just needs to retire and just chill out. Like, I wouldn't want to be 70 something doing something I actively dislike. Even if you like the main thing you're doing. If you don't like doing the stage shit, then don't do the interviews and shit. I don't understand. Ah, the original actor died. That makes sense. I guess because, like, politicians are kind of just old now. Especially here, politicians are just old as fuck. So like, we need an old ass actor to play the president. Like, why? I don't. It's a movie. I don't understand. It is what it is. I should not question their creative vision on a okay movie. But again, thank you guys for all the gifted subs and the tips and whatnot. And all the likes on the YouTube stream. Thank you. Thunderbolts might be decent. I think people are just excited about the trailer that they released. They released a A24 style trailer, and that, you know, it's cool when they actually put effort into a trailer. It makes you want to see a movie. Weird how that works. I never, personally, I cannot fathom how any movie has a bad trailer. How the hell are you making a bad trailer? How is that physically possible? Your job is to make the movie appealing enough to get people to watch it. You have all the footage at your disposal of the movie. You could pick any song within imagination, and you're making these trailers not appealing. How is that? How are you doing that? I don't understand. There's so many instances of good trailers that have come out over the last 100 years, and you're just like, fuck it, phone it in. Why? That feels like the single most important part of marketing is a decent trailer. That, and I guess they think that people are just going to watch movies because of the celebrities in it, but that worked for like 10 years. That's not working anymore. People don't care if there's a celebrity voice actor or a celebrity guest star anymore. That's not enough to get people in. Loki Season 2 should have had a movie instead of a TV show. The problem I have with that is it's probably more... I feel like there's so many instances where I'll watch a movie, I'm like, this would have been a better TV show. I am so interested in this world, I wish it was a TV show. I think shows, to their core, are... I won't say better than movies. Movies and shows have their individual... mediums that they absolutely perform better as. I don't know, man. I don't see, maybe because shows are so short now compared to how they were even 15 years ago. Like Breaking Bad could not be made today. They would make it 8-episode seasons and it just wouldn't work. One of the best TV shows ever made. The Sopranos would not work today because they wouldn't budge on the episode limit per season. So I think people are saying this could have been a movie because seasons are so fucking short now. It's like 2 movies smushed together. 2 very long movies, but 2 movies squished together. Breaking Bad, I know. I misspoke. It's not the Disney Plus effect. It's the Netflix effect. It's Stranger Things that caused this trend. This is a specifically Stranger Things problem. This started with Netflix. And notice how that show came out in like 2012. And it still hasn't finished because they can't tell the fucking story because they only get 8 episodes a fucking season. And the only reason they're getting this many seasons is because it's one of the most watched Netflix shows of all time. Any other show would have gotten canceled within 1 or 2 seasons. It's not regulations either. It's just these the main problem, same thing with video games. It's a Hollywood problem and an entertainment problem. These companies want to make these incredibly expensive projects so there's no breathing room for failure. If it fails, they have to cut their losses and move on. Versus old school TV shows, it could be $100,000 budget. Oh, this season didn't perform that well, but it can be given room to breathe and make a new season. Like Breaking Bad didn't take off till like the 2nd or 3rd season. Same thing with video games. They're making like multi-million-dollar video games, and then the games don't sell well, and they're fucked. That's why all these game studios on the verge of bankruptcy, they have 2 or bad flop games and they're screwed. There's not enough capital to make another fucking game. Well, we're talking about like video games and the movies industry. Never use Netflix as a service. Whether or not you use it, it still is like the front runner in how streaming services work. It's still the largest streaming platform. It was the first and it's still the largest. And it has the most influence on not just the streaming industry, the entire film and TV show industry at this point. Gotta remember GTA 6. That's the problem. Everyone wants to make GTA 6 money. GTA 6 is like a once in a decade game. Everyone and their mother's gonna play it, and their dog's gonna play it. And they're trying to capture lightning in a bottle, and they're just not built for it. Like, again, games are trying to copy Fortnite's monetization model. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. A handful of games are going to like also benefit from this new model, but most of them are just going to piss off the consumer base. Like, single player games don't need battle passes. Sims has a battle pass. That makes no fucking sense, but because of how the monetization system is like widely accepted now, they just put it in there because that's what Fortnite does, and Fortnite makes a lot of money, so we got to do it too. Absolutely can do. If you're going to make a AAA game every few years, you also need to make some AA games or some like indie style games to help supplement the other games. That's usually how it worked. They made a game, it did pretty well, and it paid for the next game. But again, it's just these companies are like glass cannons with their projects. They're like, fuck, we're bankrupt. What happened? Shit, we're out of money. Put more $30 microtransactions in the next game. It's the only thing keeping us afloat. Regulation definitely impacts the industry. What? Okay, so like I can see like the writer strikes and shit, but that's not really regulation. That's a issue between the company and the people who are employed and actively boycotting or protesting. It's not regulations. It's just the contracts that are being signed between the company and the writers and the voice actors. So yeah, that definitely impacts how shows are made. Like maybe I'm just old, but I find it absurd if you spend $60 on a car game that you can't play with all the cars. You can't unlock all the cars. You have to buy some of them. Am I insane for thinking that? The fact that that's become acceptable is absurd. Or like the gambling mechanics within sports games. The fact that it's just so well accepted that you have to gamble to play some of these characters. These are $1,000 characters that you're gambling for. It makes no sense. I'm used to like playing NBA Street. It's just all the characters are on the game. I don't know, dude. I can't remember the last time I've been hyped for a new IP. I'm trying to think. Hades, I guess, was really interesting, but that's a small game. It's an indie studio. And even they're having issues with AI, where some voice actors are pulling out because they're not guaranteeing AI protections for voice actors. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the last major IP that I was super excited for. I guess Cyberpunk technically counts. That had a rocky launch, but it seems to have balanced itself out. That's the most recent I can think of that was like a major AAA game. That came out a few years ago. Look at most AAA failures that came out. They have a lot in common. I also think part of the problem is there's too many AAA games. People cannot afford to buy a new AAA game every month. It's just most people buy 1 to 2 games a year. And that's why Game Pass is such a great deal. It's because it gives people more access to play games on a monthly basis. But it's super realistic. I guess they've changed their expectations because of like streamers and content creators buying up all these games and getting people hyped to spend more money on games. But most people can't afford all these AAA games. It's like, oh man, this failed because this, and that. People only want to buy the top 2 games of the year because that's all they can afford. It's not that the game is objectively bad, but most people are not going to buy a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 game when they can just wait for the big 10 out of 10 game of the year. I'll get them and I'll probably enjoy them because I can, it's an expense for me. So that's also part of the problem that people don't factor in. And that's why AAA games, that's why free-to-play games do so fucking well. It's like, oh, fuck, I can play a game and it's free? Shit, I'll try it. If it's good, then it's going to fucking do spectacularly well. Oh yeah, Concord was in so many ways, Concord was a spectacular failure. The marketing, the art style, the gameplay was nothing special, and they spent an absurd amount of money on it. It wasn't going to make sense. And it was what? It was $60 for a hero shooter when Overwatch is free to play at this point. It just, again, it was from top to bottom. It made no sense. $8 years of development. Yeah, it's just, if they would have came out with it 8 years ago, it might have had a chance to compete with Overwatch. I think a big part of it is just it got stuck in development hell, and they didn't know what the fuck to do with it. Like, it failed on multiple levels. It wasn't just, oh, it's the characters that look woke. No, it's not just because that. It's a big part of it is just it's from top to bottom. There's problems. And the unfortunate reality is, too, people only want to buy, not only, I won't say only, but a lot of people are a lot more likely to try a game that has an existing IP. It's not guaranteed. Multiverse failed, right? That had a lot of like recognizable characters, but it wasn't a polished enough game, so it failed. But again, there's too many games. There's too many hero shooters. There's too many big games. There's too many games that are like, all right, hey, we spent $500 million on this, so it's got to be $60. Buy the game. What? Why would I do that? It doesn't look good. I'd be willing to try if it was free to play. It could have been a good game. They could have fixed the character models if it didn't die on fucking release. Cyberpunk had some absolutely game-breaking problems at release. But CD Projekt Red committed to fix the game. It took about a year. I play the game on console. It still has some game-breaking bugs. But it's fixed enough that people can actually enjoy the whole product. I don't know, man. It's there's too much money in the industry, and it's making people make poor decisions. No Man's Sky. People fucking hated No Man's Sky. Oh my god, the amount of videos on No Man's Sky alone when it launched was horrendous. It was so bad. And now it's got a dedicated community because they took the time to fix it. This was not a massive studio either, but they took the time to fix the game, and now it's got a dedicated following. These games can recover, but I don't know if you can recover from half a billion dollars. That's just too much to recover from. Where you just gotta say you gotta cut your losses. And I wonder how many of these, because you see it with movies with Warner Brother, they're making full movies and then saying, "Oh, we're not gonna release it. We're just gonna write it off in taxes." I genuinely wonder how many games are being designed like that. Like, oh, we spent all this money on this game, and it looks terrible, and no one buys it. Like, oh, shucks, guess we got to write it off. I'm a little suspicious because movies can do it. Why can't games? Oh yeah, people are like, oh, it's woke, it's woke. Dude, there are plenty of games with women and people of color that are fucking spectacular. People are like, oh, women shouldn't be in video games. Women shouldn't be in game development. Well, then Portal wouldn't exist, dumbass. But those are like very extreme incel losers who are saying shit like that. Oh yeah, there were people who were polling on Twitter like, who thinks women should not be allowed in game development? Just like, dude, you don't know what titties look like IRL. All right, you've never touched a woman besides your mother. It's very apparent. But they make money off rage bait. That's all they do. It's just rage bait. Like, there's so many games that wouldn't exist without women in development. Just make a good game and people play it for real. I feel like they did. Didn't they come out with the Space Marines recently? Or is it like a different style game than what you were expecting? I think that looked alright, the one I saw. And it unfortunately cut off. I don't think passionate devs is quite enough, but it's very important to have a passionate team of devs. I think that is like the foundation of a good game. But you need the other things to make it a complete thing. If you don't have that, it falls apart. I feel like people reference Stellar Blade, but I don't know anything about what it's about. Like, I think the ogling games, like the simp games, have their merit. Like, I don't mind those every once in a while. I like looking at boobies. But I don't want every video game with a woman in it to just be a gooning game. That doesn't make any sense. The Souls, like, I'm so not into Souls likes. I feel like most Souls like are Souls likes just don't understand why people like Souls likes. They just don't capture me like FromSoft does. Like someone tried to say Red Dead Redemption 2 was woke because what's her name acted like a man because she didn't take shit. God, what is her name? Smash, by the way. I just can't remember her name off the top of my head. Sadie Adler. That's it. Like, yeah, she's. I don't want to see my woman like this in video game. Like, what? More of that, please. More for me. I feel like that meme from fucking Smiling Friends. More for me. Ah. Yeah, I can do for real. Don't even like Dark Souls dying. It pisses me off. I don't like Dark Souls 1 and 2 as much because it feels like I'm getting kicked in the balls just for the sake of getting kicked in the balls, right? 3, it feels like there's a legitimate feeling of accomplishment. Maybe because I started playing with 3, so like going back to the harder games is just not nearly as enjoyable for me. But playing Dark Souls 1, I felt like I was like my hands were tied behind my back and I was getting curb stomped in the nuts constantly. So it just wasn't, I didn't have a good time. Gotta make a channel in Discord just for Tina to do a Markiplier style video and do Smasher Pass. Oh my god. I am not doing Pokemon Smasher Pass. That is some D-Gen levels of activity. I can't believe Markiplier And he thought about it too. He took that shit seriously. Oh, again, can do. I think Gooner games have their merit, but to expect every game with a woman lead to be a Gooner game is stupid. I just don't. Isn't that the video Markiplier made? It was like Smash or Pass, but Pokemon? Is that not the video he made? I haven't watched Markiplier in a long time, but I feel like that's the meme I keep seeing floating around, or kept seeing floating around. Yeah, he took, again, Wolfgang, he took that shit seriously. He really caught, I mean, logistically, that just wouldn't work. Pass. Okay. Alright, shit. You do you, I guess. Helldivers is great. Helldivers is challenging, though. I wouldn't say it's like Souls challenging, but it has, like, the difficult missions. There's a game on Steam with a dating sim with a T-Rex with a huge rack. I mean, some serious bazooka. Why? I shouldn't ask these questions. Hell, I don't mind games with conventionally unattractive characters. There are ugly people in the world. I don't know what to tell you. They exist. And most of the time you're looking at the character's back anyway. If you even see the character. I guess in the cutscenes you see him occasionally. But the fact that like Ciri's ugly now from The Witcher. It's like, are you guys blind? What's going on? Am I not seeing the same person? Oh, it doesn't have. Again, I was referencing the Pokemon Markiplier video. That's why I said that. I swear someone will sneak Ryan Reynolds in there. I don't see the appeal of Ryan Reynolds. I don't get it, man. Only thing that matters is sales. To these companies, yeah, that's all that matters. For sure. Well, not just sales, just revenue. Sales, microtransactions, DLCs. So Wolfgang, you prefer like the power fantasy games where you're like Doomslayer. You're the badass. I like those games too. Not every game has to like fight back. Sometimes I just want to fuck shit up, you know? I feel like a lot of men said they would go gay for Ryan Reynolds. I don't see it. I don't see that for a lot of men, though, to be fair. I like women. I feel like the only men I've been like, yeah, Smash, have been fictional men. Like Arthur Morgan Smash. He could get it. Absolutely. That's about it. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I don't know that character. Cut off. Like, the scarier the lady, the better, I feel like, for me. Like, Lady Dimitrescu. I really like a lot of the women for Black Lagoon, because they're terrifying and whatnot. I don't know. I feel like I simp for almost, excuse me. For at least one woman in almost every game I play. I don't understand why people buy NFL or FIFA every year. That's the one game they buy. That's why. They really like sports. They really like that one game. And that's all they play. Those are the same people who are like, man, guys, I think I've outgrown video games. I'm just tired of playing the same thing over and over again. It's like, dude, you've bought 2K for the last 10 years. That's all you play. I'm sure you're tired of video games. Or it's just they only play Call of Duty, right? So I get where people get burnt out on video games. I don't like to play as an ugly character, especially as in a story game. Yeah. To each their own. I'm there for mostly the story. Like, I'm sure people are like, I can't imagine anyone's like, oh, Steve in Minecraft's just so ugly. I can't play Minecraft. I can't do this. I either play for the story or the gameplay. Like, God. What is this? And there are games that have intentionally ugly as hell art styles. Those are like more so 2002 games. That was like a really popular thing to have ugly looking games. It's just art styles. I think the problem is too, like, I feel like every game wants to be as futuristic as humanly possible. There's so many games that are like, God, I hate this publisher, but the game is so good. All the time. And the problem with Concord is it's a brand new IP, it's ugly as hell, and it's $60 for a hero shooter. I feel like, especially with the hero shooter genre, the most popular hero shooters are free to play and have attractive characters. Or at least cool looking characters. There wasn't a cool looking character in Concord. Not even one. They all looked very strange. Not even like the characters that you can say are woke. Even the normal looking characters were just strange looking. It was just bizarre. It was bizarre choices all around. Again, I think it just got stuck in development hell and just occurred way too much money. Like they just wasted so much money in development hell. Yeah, I feel like there's so many cases with anything. It's like, if we just do this, this, and this, people will buy our game. And that's just not how it works. You actually have to make a good game. Yeah, the Minecraft movie is so bizarre. Again, I think this is a case of this is the best selling game of all time. People are going to watch this movie no matter what we do. So we can just shit something out with a bunch of celebrities and it'll make a bunch of money. And I'm afraid it might work because it's Minecraft. There's going to be a bunch of little kids who are like, fuck yeah, Minecraft movie, let's go. I hope not. I hope these kids watch this trailer like, ugh. Why'd they make Steve look like that? What? Stranger things have happened. Check Discord. Hold on. Oh, Lord. Coral Girl cosplays. Oh, God. Oh. Is it that one meme with the song? Yeah, I can already tell by the slow-mo. That looks terrible. Oh yeah, it's too easy of a catch grab for them not to try. Like the Super Mario movie did really well, right? We just do what the Super Mario movie did. We'll make so much money. Get some popular actors, put them in the video game. That's it. Money. FNAF 2 to a certain extent, yeah. I didn't think the FNAF movie was as bad as people made it out to be, but it was definitely like a home movie. But it was also not an expensive budget, right? It was a pretty cheap budget. FNAF movie budget. I feel like it was less than 200K. It was only 20 million. That is, dude. We need more shit like that. That's why the movie did well. That's why they're making a sequel. It only cost them $20 million to make. You know how rare it is for a movie to be that fucking cheap? Jesus Christ. That is so cheap. They grossed, I think in the end, they grossed 217 billion worldwide. Dude, they 10 times their money. That's what more studios need to be fucking doing. Whether or not you like the story or not, that's subjective. But it's hard to fucking fail when your budget's that cheap. Especially for a popular IP. Versus what? Let's see what the Minecraft movie budget is. It's going to be way more because of the actors. $150 million. I can see them making their money back. I genuinely think they could make their money back, depending on how many kids drag their parents to see it. But it's a lot harder to make your money back with that kind of budget. Sonic 2, what was Sonic? Was the... I'm going to assume 40 million. The film budget was estimated between 85 and 90 million. That's still a lot, dude. But the three movies together have made more than $1 billion worldwide. That's crazy. So the Sonic movie, the first one was 122. Oh, no, that's the newest one. Sonic 1 movie. What was that budget? Yeah, 85 million. And it made 320 million. Sonic doesn't count. Sonic has an astronomical level of autism fueling that community. People who are into Sonic love Sonic. They fucking love that shit. That's an unfair test. That's an unfair comparison. That is one of the most passionate communities I have ever seen. And that's true. They did spend a lot of money redesigning the CGI or redoing the character animations for Sonic. So I don't even know how much that cost. People were speculating that they faked it as like a marketing scheme. There's no fucking way. You don't put out a trailer and just be like, all right, just kidding. That's not really what it looks like. That is such a risky decision. I can't imagine any studio would be like, that's a great idea. Let's make everyone hate our movie so that they demand that we change it and then we release the real movie. No one's going for that. I don't know, Wolfgang. I feel like I see Sonic fans all the time. But again, maybe it's just they're very passionate. So you see them because they're so loud about how much they love it. How you doing, Based? Outside. Oh, I do go outside. That's right. Maybe that's what it is. Marvel does reshoots, but it looks like shit. The reason that movies look worse, their CGI looks worse today than it did in like 2008 with like the people love to use the Pirates movie as an example. The Pirates movies gave the CGI artists time to actually make the movie look good. Nowadays, movies try to make the CGI as cheap as possible because they're spending so much money on celebrity actors and whatnot. So they not only do they pay the least amount, they also ship it off to a country like Korea to make this animation. And not only that, they make it as cheap as possible, as fast as fucking possible. They don't give a fuck. I don't care how it looks, just get it fucking out. They want that shit out as soon as possible. All these things are, it feels like all movies these days are filmed on CGI green screen sets. There's no practical effects whatsoever. Even Pirates had a physical ship. Pirates of the Caribbean had a ton of CGI, but they had a physical ship. Having a mixture of practical and CGI and giving these artists the time to actually make this shit makes a huge fucking difference. Like, we have not hit the peak of CGI technology. You can see that with The Way of Water. That movie looks good. Whether or not you like Avatar as a series, Avatar The Way of Water looks phenomenal. It took 10 years to fucking make. He let them do what they needed to do to make the movie look good. And it was fucking expensive, I'm sure. But Avatar was like one of the first movies to make $1 billion. So he had, I'm sure, had the go ahead to make it as expensive as we wanted. I want to say, I don't know. Yeah, Avatar was a $460 million budget, The Way of Water. Which makes sense. It looks, but they look like they used the money well, because they gave them time to do what they needed to do. Oh yeah, the Michael Bay movies too. Again, this was from an era where companies are like, we want the movies to look good because that's what's going to get people in the seats if the CGI looks really good. But now they know people are going to watch it no matter how bad the CGI looks. And it's just kind of commonplace to be like, CGI is going to look bad. It's always looked bad. So they can kind of get away with saying, well, it's CGI, you know, you can't make it look like real life, really. Which is bullshit. We know they can. They're just cutting corners. Oh yeah, CGI is far less about improving the movie as it is cutting budget. I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. How can, because also CGI is not like animators, and CGI is not unionized. But you know what is unionized? Costume design, set design, and hair and makeup. So instead of doing all that properly the first time and paying these people what they're owed and giving reasonable hours, we could just put everyone in fucking green screen suits on a green screen set and ship it off to Korea and say, make the movie in 3 months. Good luck. Have fun. And they'll do it because the exchange rate is really good. So they're going to take this soul crushing job for no money and get it done like they want. It's good enough because it's cheap enough, because most of the budget is going to celebrity actors anyway and marketing. Oh yeah, dude. Didn't they almost lose what movie did they almost lose the footage? The CGI footage. I feel like one of the Transformers movies, they almost lost all the footage because it was on a hard drive. Dude, when I was in high school, I'm very passionate about this because when I was in high school, my goal was to go to college for 3D animation. I took 3D animation for 4 years in high school. We had a guy come to our class that worked on Narnia, and he talked about like all the individual little hairs that they hand animated for Aslan's mane during the scenes that Aslan was on screen. They hand animated all of his fur of his mane. That wouldn't happen today. There's no fucking way. And the dude was so fucking into it. He was like, God, the engine we used 3D Max, we used Maya, we used this is the top of the line stuff. This guy did lighting. I worked on the main, like we had multiple people work on this main just for this scene. It took like 3 weeks for like this and that. And he fucking loved that shit. And now I just know if he's still in the industry, it's soul crushing. It's just not how it works anymore. And you could say Narnia is like one of the lesser movies of that time period. It still looks great. It's not as good as like the Transformers movies or even Avatar or the Pirates movies. But it still took effort and passion. And now people can't afford to be passionate anymore. Never got to make the silver chair. Is that part of the Narnia series? Because I only saw, I think because the Prince movie did so poorly, they didn't make the sequel for that. Which they were able to do all the books. It's just they didn't do as well as the first one. I mean, the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe was just so good comparatively, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I could talk about movies for fucking hours. Maybe that's something we'll do in the next stream, is just talk about movies and shit. But once my arm is better, I'd like to actually start practicing Blender so I can do some 3D animation for my videos. It's been years. I probably have to learn from scratch, but that would be fun. But I'm going to call it for now. I don't want to overdo it. I know I've just been sitting here, but unfortunately that's enough to be taxing on my body. But again, thank you so much for everyone who hung out and gifted a sub or resubbed or tipped on YouTube. I appreciate you. And thank you for everyone who became a member or stayed a member or stayed subbed while I was away. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I can stream at least a couple times a week for the time being while I wait for the time I can take my new vacation. I still can't take it for another month or so. But again, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Later.